And joining us now on the Drive Time podcast is the Dolphins' third-round draft choice this year, the safety out of Texas, Brandon Jones. Brandon, congrats and welcome to Miami, man.
Man, I'm excited, man. Thank you so much.
I got to ask you, but get these phone calls every year. It's always fun to watch the GM, the head coach, Flores and Greer. How did your phone call go?
Man, it went crazy, to be honest. I actually went upstairs just to use the restroom and was walking downstairs and got a phone call, and I was like, no way. Like, picked it up, answered it, talked to the coaches. I really couldn't hear. My family was all screaming and stuff, but I was speechless, to be honest. I was shocked, but I'm just so happy and so grateful and thankful.
As far as the player on the field, Brandon Jones, what are the Dolphins getting in you?
They're going to get a guy that has a high motor, that's very super competitive, that's going to go 110% no matter what, and a guy that's a firm believer in growth. And I'm going to be the best version of me, and I'm very coachable. Obviously, whatever the coaches need me to do, from playing nickel to playing high safety, I just want to be able to contribute and be a very, very good team player. And at the end of the day, I'm for the team. It's not about me, it's about us, and it's about getting wins.
Well, my next question for you, Brandon, was we talk a lot about versatility down here in South Florida, and you mentioned it right off the top there, deep safety, playing the nickel, boundary field. Doesn't really matter what position you play, but can you tell us what your best overall trait is?
Man, I think my best trait, honestly, is just being around the ball, to be honest. With my skill set, I was able to do a lot, being able to hold slot receivers, cover tight ends, play in the box, kind of whatever I needed to do, to be successful. And, the University of Texas put me in a good spot to utilize my skill set. So I'm very comfortable with anywhere on the field, to be honest. Obviously, I'm not the biggest guy on the field, but I really enjoy being in the box, rolling down and just being competitive. Like how competitive I am. I love the one-on-one matchups. I love just being competitive and being myself at the end of the day.
Another thing we talk about down here in South Florida is four-down players, guys that can play special teams. We read on your scouting report that's one of the things you love to do. How is it for a defensive back like yourself in terms of taking pride in special teams? Like, where does that come from?
Man, special teams is just as important, and a lot of people discount that and don't realize how important it is. But, field position is huge. And, where you get the ball, where your offense starts and where your defense starts really can, win or lose games at the end of the day. And, at all times, you want your best players on the field, whether it is, a guy that's been starting for a long time. But, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you want your best guys on the field. You want your guys that are going to basically can do whatever you need them to do at the end of the day. And I've, had experience through all special teams. So it's been I'm very thankful for that, just being able to be able to be in situations, just to be myself and play at a high level.
We have new Dolphins safety Brandon Jones from Texas here on the Drive Time podcast. And Brandon, before you came on the podcast, we had you watch your name come across the screen, a special moment for you for sure. And then ESPN rolled the segment that talked about your request to get every team's binder and plays this offseason. I'm curious to ask you, what brought up that decision and how did teams respond to that request?
Man, I just really wanted to – I'm always looking for growth. I'm a firm believer in growth, whether it's physically or mentally. And just the point in time during this process for me, the mental side of the game is something I really wanted to grow and get an edge on a lot of guys. So I took it upon myself to ask my agent to get me as much film as you can, and I'm going to put together a binder. I'm going to watch as much games as I can for all NFL teams and just get to know the defense, dive down deep. And just really dissect the defense. And I think it really helped me a lot because I'm very familiar and I understood a lot that was going on. And I realized as I got older in college how important film watching was. And I think the mental side of the game is something that's going to carry you a lot further than the physical side of it.
You get to join Brian Flores, Josh Boyer, and Gerald Alexander, your head coach, defensive coordinator, and defensive backs coach. I'm curious to ask you, what did you learn in those studies this offseason?
It took me 8 weeks to do. At the top of my head, I really couldn't tell you because I literally just watched every single team. So it's kind of hard to tell. I know I would pull it out if I had it with me. I don't have it here with me right now, but
don't stress on it, man. Don't stress. Okay. I thought it was a great question, but no, I understand. It's a very unique thing to do. So we love hearing that. But I do want to talk to you about going back to Texas last year, because on your scouting report, Lance Zierlein writes that you received a positive draft grade that you were happy with, but it was important to you to return back to Texas to pursue a championship. Talk us through how important it is to you to be a part of a winner like that.
It's huge. I haven't in high school, throughout high school, and my first year at Texas, I haven't been a part of a winning team. So that's definitely something that I wanted to do. I've always been a guy that led by example, and I really wanted to be more of a vocal leader and kind of embrace being uncomfortable. So I took it upon myself, coming back, being a senior, really trying to win over my teammates, to be a team captain was huge to me. And I just had a lot of things that I wanted to emphasize mentally and physically, and being was one of them. So I made sure that I got guys together, all the freshmen, got everybody lined up when they needed to be lined up, and kind of, just really embrace that, and obviously with my injuries, I wasn't able to put a full season together. So that was really big to me, just to prove to teams that, I am capable of doing this. I am capable of going a full season without getting hurt. And that's about it.
How much are you looking forward to joining a group of players like Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, Bobby McCain, Eric Rowe? Do you know those guys, and how excited are you to join that group?
I know of them. Yeah, definitely know of them. I'm very excited, obviously, just to be with those guys and learn. I'm a huge believer in learning. And like I said, I'm a firm believer in growth as well. So I can't wait to, those guys take me under their wing and just, teach me the ropes. Obviously, I'm a very coachable when it comes to coaches, or, the guys ahead of me that have had experience in the league and really know the kind of the ropes. So I'm really excited to get behind them and just learn.
All right, Brandon, last question for you here. Coming down to South Florida, you're going to have off days every now and then. Of course, I know you want to put the work in, but when you do get an off day, what does Brandon Jones do for fun?
Man, so I'm down here in the country, so I do some outdoorsy stuff from, y'all probably never heard of it, spotlighting, mudding, stuff like that. That's what I did back home in Austin. It's a little different, it's a bigger city, so I'm pretty boring for the most part, to be honest. I like to just hang out with my friends, watch Netflix, binge TV shows, do something like that. So I'm a pretty boring guy for the most part if I'm not playing football.
What have you been watching lately?
So I just got on Good Girls. Good Girls is a really good show. I just found out that season 3 is on, I think it's on CBS or NBC, I think. So I've been watching that. I finished All Americans, probably one of my favorite TV shows that's out right now. But yeah, I'm definitely, especially during these times, I'm trying to find some TV shows and some good movies to watch.
I'm surprised you didn't say Tiger King. Everyone's watching that.
Yeah, Tiger King, it was good. It was just, I don't know, the last episode that they made, which is like basically like interviews, I was really expecting more. So I was kind of disappointed, when that came out.
Yeah, me too. I was expecting to get like some more inside footage of the farm and stuff, or the zoo there. But hey, yeah. Nonetheless, Brandon, we're happy to have you here in Miami, man. Congratulations once again, and enjoy your night.
Thank you so much.